What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin today. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, all right? It is the 6th of June. Here we are, 9 hours, 16 minutes left in the day, almost at $105,000. You guys, we've seen a little bit of a miracle happen over the past 12 hours or so. Um, it's very possible that we could be reversing this. It's very possible this could be a fake out. And I think with this kind of day presenting itself right now, we should at least consider that, right? Again, yesterday, I did say if we close above 104K, that gives us a fighting chance. You really want to solidify it, you have to close a lot, not a lot higher, but I mean above 106K would solidify it for me. Anywhere between 104K and 106K, there's just hope. What am I talking about hope for? Hope that we don't go down to 95.8K, right? Or lower, something in that area there. If we close the day here or higher. But if we get above 106K, I wouldn't just have hope. I'd have strong conviction, whether it's today or tomorrow or the next day, right? Sometime soon, but it's not like if we don't close above 106K today that will have to move down. You know, we could close here and then the next day close here and then the next day close above 106K and then we validate, right? It doesn't all have to happen today, but today is important because if you want to validate this drop as a fake out kind of idea here, you would want to see an immediate recovery, which we're seeing right now. This is perfect. It's literally a bullish engulfing candle at the moment. 9 hours and 15 minutes left in the day is a lot of time. Let's look at the short-term time frames. We're really going to zoom in here, and then we'll come back out. I do anticipate that we'll find resistance here. Why? Well, we found some turbulence right here, literally just a couple days ago. We found resistance right here, closing resistance right there. You can see it might make sense that we do. If we take a low here, let's just see, from a high to a low, take a high to a low there, right above the 382. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but whenever you see this kind of stuff, I mean, typically right above the 382 does imply that you find resistance here. You'll probably come back down to the 236. And if we did that, you know, we have 9 hours left in the day. We could do that over the next 8 hours. If we close at 103K, we would have a pretty big wick on the day. It would be like this hopeful, momentous day would then just turn into a half of it being a wick to the upside in areas of resistance that wouldn't be a good look. So at this point in time, that's something that I'm considering right there. Let's look at the 15-minute time frame and then we'll zoom out, okay? 15-minute time frame here. Love it. It's doing great. Phenomenal, right? Moving up at a nice kind of pace here. Volume's coming in. It's decent. It's not bad at all. That's actually decent volume. What we have here on the RSI, it did look like bearish divergence. Not going to lie, it did look like bearish divergence here. Maybe that's why you had that slight move down. But this move up got rid of that bearish divergence. Now you have a higher high. The 15-minute RSI overall looks immaculate, but you also do look like you're in some kind of a megaphone, right? Like a megaphone like this. I doubt you're going to break out to the upside, right? Because you can't go past 100. I would expect you probably do break out to the downside. That doesn't mean that you're absolved of going higher. You can go a little bit higher from here, maybe. Maybe you do hit 105K. I mean, we found a lot of support at 105K. It makes sense that we touch it and then find resistance there, but I don't expect this move to persist for too much longer. That's just all I'm saying, right? V-shaped recoveries, which this looks to be a V-shaped recovery. Typically, the V-shaped recoveries, the right side is the faster side. So the fact that it's slower might also aid in the idea that since it's a weaker V-shaped recovery, we might actually roll over. They also tend to go V-shaped recoveries right where they started. The question is, where did this one start? Did it start up here or did it start right here? Where did this V start? You know what I mean? So we're going to stop between here, literally like right here, or 106K. We could run all the way up to 106K, guys. That doesn't mean that we're absolved. Run up there and then come back down here by the end of the day, we're screwed. Now we've got over half of the candle as a body wick, right? Over half the candle is a wick, not a body. That's what I meant to say. 15-minute time frame, though. Pretty bullish. I don't know how long it can persist, and we're at areas of resistance. So if you want to maintain this bullish hope, the resistance you do find needs to be somewhat insignificant. You need to recover. You want to see this RSI not rejecting from this area. Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Not rejecting from this area, but going, you know, maybe at the 40 at the lowest. You don't want to go into the oversold zone again, because if you do that, well, we'll get to that, I guess. 1 hour time frame here. 1 hour time frame. You are in the overbought zone right now, right? 1 hour. Yes, you're in the overbought zone right now. We've got 12 minutes left. I'm assuming we will close here. This seems to be an area that you found resistance before. And if we do set ourselves up, you guys, if we get in and then we get out, the 15-minute time frame looks bad. This next hour might be a red hour. You know, doesn't mean like the hours to come are red, but the next hour would be a red hour. If we get in and then we get out, if we get a red hour on the next hour, we'll get in and out. We'll reject the overbought zone. What has that done the last 3 times? Let's just see. First time here resulted in a downward move. Second time here resulted in a downward move. Third time here resulted in a downward move. And of course it kept going up. You got higher highs each time. But what I'm focusing on is the whole idea here. We've got 9 hours left in the day. That looks like it took more than 9 hours. This looks like it took about 9 hours. This, well, that took, you know, however long, but it took more than 9 hours. If by the end of the day we're below 104K or even like below 103K or around there, I would think the bullish hope, the bullish momentum we have would be killed off largely, right? That's what I'm trying to say. It doesn't matter that these rejection points continue to climb afterwards, because what this rejection would imply if we did move down and we close the day down here, we're not gonna move higher. We're in a breakout still. We back tested for support or prior areas of support for resistance, and we rejected. You know, that's what that would mean. So that would actually imply that we would go lower, right? So a rejection off of this 1 hour would be very detrimental to any kind of bullish momentum. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, that's just my opinion. You have 10 minutes left in this 1 hour candle. Let's see if the next hour can continue to grow. Again, you guys, if we can close today above 106K, all my downside concerns are gone. If we close here at 104.8K, they're at least tempered. But if we close below, I've been saying 104K, let's say like 103.7K. If we close maybe even 100, basically 104K. If we close below 104K, I'm gonna have a hard time being optimistic for this, okay? But if we watch us close right at like $103,999, you know what I mean? Like, watch us do that. I don't know. That'd be great though if we could close above 106K today. 4 hour time frame here. Looking at this in the RSI. You know, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but we are near, but not at the areas that we found resistance before, right? We were up here when we found resistance before. We're very near. So this could imply a little bit more growth. On the 4 hour time frame, we have an hour and 9 minutes left. Maybe we do grow a little bit more. And maybe the next hour isn't bearish. Maybe it is a little bit bullish. We get to those areas where we find resistance in the 4 hour, and then we still come down anyways, right? Maybe instead of a 1 hour in and then 1 hour out rejection, maybe it's 2 hours in and then the next hour we come out rejection. I don't know. A short-lived experience nonetheless. There's reasons to be hopeful, and it's easy to say that here at the top of this move that basically just moves straight up from the lows, right? It's easy to say that here, but we are coming to points of turbulence. We really are at points of turbulence here, right at this prior area of resistance. I mean, you look at this, we literally like found support right at the area that we found support before. And now here we are at the top of this zone here where we found resistance. I'm just saying, connecting the dots, it makes sense that we're probably not going to continue at this pace for too much longer. I hope I'm wrong, but my expectation would be that by the end of the day, we do close with a rather pronounced wick. How low do we close? I don't know. I'm thinking we do close somewhere around 103K, if not lower. We'll see. We'll see. I hope I'm wrong. I hope we close here or higher. Because if I'm wrong, that means that Bitcoin's moving up. That means that everybody's making money. We're going to new all-time highs, you guys. And this was just a fake out. And fake outs tend to be eaten up fast in the opposite direction, right? But if this isn't a fake out, if this is a foreshadowing of what's to come, well, we've got a lot more to drop, right? From 104.9 thousand, about 105,000, down to 98.5 thousand, or sorry, 95.8 thousand. I don't know why I do that. I switched the numbers around. That's quite a drop for Bitcoin. I mean, from the current price, and the reason why we're saying 95.8K or lower, right, that's an 8% drop. The reason why we're saying that is because from a low here on April 7th to the high there on May 22nd, you've wicked a sizable bit below your 236, which typically this kind of reaction, you closed yesterday below the 236 and you wicked a sizable bit below it. It's very indicative that before you go higher, you're going to interact with the 382 or lower before you go higher, right? But this kind of reaction, this day matched with this day, this can nullify that. It really can nullify that. But we have 9 hours left in this day. Let's see if it holds or if it comes down. My money is on the idea that it comes down, though. If Bitcoin drops 8.7% or 8% or whatever, the average altcoin is going to probably drop 15% to 25%. You know what I mean? So if you want to absolve this from happening, not just for Bitcoin, but for the rest of the markets, we need to start seeing more life. This is nice. This is exciting, but it feels kind of trappish. Feels like this is, people were panicking down here, went to bed, woke up, oh my God, it's panic to the upside now. It's just emotional environments, and that does not make for rational speculation. And my speculation at the moment, emotionless, and just looking at the data, we're in a better place to reject, I think, here than we are to invalidate this breakout. But we'll see. If we close here, I definitely would have hope, but I'm done saying that, man. Inevitably, when we're done going lower, wherever the low might be, hell, it might have been right there. It might have been $100,300 right there. High to low, whenever we do start moving up higher, the expectation is to go up to 130 to 140K first. We might find a little turbulence there and then continue to run up. Going into July, we'll be at about 160 to $190,000. Something in this zone here, I'm expecting will be closer to 180 to 190K personally, but I do accept 160 as a minimum target, okay? And that's what we'll see in July. Other than that, we'll probably consolidate the rest of this week. It's the weekend, right? It's Friday. We have Saturday and Sunday ahead of us. It's the weekend. And then we've got Monday on the 9th, right? Yep. I would expect that next week is not so much a week of dumping. I think this week is mainly the week of dumping. And then next week, maybe we open up the week. We kind of come down over the weekend. Who knows? We open up the week on Monday or Tuesday, and we really start to make that move down early in the week. I think that we will find support. If not by the end of this week, over the weekend, then early next week. And then throughout next week, we'll just kind of be reconfiguring ourselves. I think saving ourselves for some bullish momentum at the end of the month. Where I was predicting an end-of-month rally for May, and I got that wrong, I think we will have an end-of-month rally for June, and I do expect that to actually happen. That will take us by the end of June to new all-time highs. I'm expecting by the end of June, you guys will be well above 120K, well above 130 and 140K. I'm taking 130, 140K at the least by the end of this month, but we'll see. We'll definitely see. Anyways, guys, I got nothing else for you. I hope you liked the video. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care of yourselves, all right? Bye-bye.